and good afternoon, depending on what time zone you're joining us in at. So, for those of you who are joining us live, today is actually Veterans Day 2021. It's 11/11. And we're super excited to have another great episode of On the Fly with Kai. And I love this because I get to bring to you truly people that I know, that I trust, that I've worked with, I've been associated with for years and years and years. And they bring to you some great tips, tricks, and hacks because they own their own businesses and they're an expert at what they do. And today is no different. In fact, today I'm super thrilled to be able to bring to you a gentleman that I've known for a long time from the San Jose Chamber of Commerce. He's actually got an incredible business where he's a sales and marketing technology broker. And he's been, self-employed for over 25 years, working with, top Martech, if you will, to large scale companies. But he also helps small and medium-sized businesses increase their sales as well as attract and retain employees. He's just been an incredible friend. I know we both have an exclusive partnership with the chamber that really helps their members as well. So please help me welcome to the virtual stage, Bill Harrington. Welcome so much. I'm so glad you're here.
Glad to be here as well. Thanks, Kai. Good to see
Yeah,
you.
we had fun. We've had a lot of fun over the years, haven't we? Like from
Indeed.
wineries to you name it, having a ball all over the place. So I'm excited. But first of all, what in the world is a sales and marketing technology broker?
That's an excellent question. You can kind of think of it as being a general contractor for marketing services. A general contractor for building your house or whatnot. You've got somebody who does the windows, someone who does the plumbing, the electrical, et cetera, the tile. The general contractor kind of coordinates all that kind of information. So he's gone out and found good tradesmen in all these different areas and brings them together to build your house just the way you want it, and nicely done. We're the same type of a thing. We search our group, I should say, searches all of the various marketing technologies that are available, and we bring them together to bear on your particular marketing challenge. So it could be people that are experts in digital marketing as far as search engine optimization or variations of that. It could be email marketing, could be ways to capture information about people that are visiting your webpage or things that they do on social. We can connect you with those types of people. But these are all different technologies and they're all very specialized. And so rather than trying to do everything ourselves, there's no way we can possibly know everything. And so we bring in all of these other experts, depending on the challenges that you're having with your marketing.
Very cool. I know we're going to get into some digital marketing, best practices and SEO best practices, email marketing best practices. But real quickly, I have to ask people every single time because people that are on this show are either already entrepreneurs or looking to break free and do that. And most of my guests have been, done the corporate route and for whatever reason decided to make a change and make that leap of faith. And so I always want to ask that of everyone. Maybe someone can learn, some great tips on that too. So what made you, go be a solopreneur? And I know you've had two ventures. One was in product marketing, and then now your electronic marketing. What made you make a switch and go be self-employed?
I was kind of dissatisfied with my current position, so I was looking around to do some other things. And I was thinking about this earlier today. And initially, it started out, I was working for a cabling contractor. They did pulled cable for local area networks back in the day. And a friend of mine had a promotional products business and a graphics design business, and they get very busy around the holidays. And so she asked me if I could come help out, for a couple of weeks before Christmas. Yeah, happy to do it. And I turned out to be there for like 15 years. Then I got into promotional products and that type of thing. And as I got more familiar with that marketing or that market, it didn't seem like that interesting to me. It was very easy to get in, a lot of competition, no barriers to entry. If you had a computer, you could be in business, basically. But I met a guy that was a marketing genius as far as I'm concerned. And he had all sorts of great ideas about how to you market your business that were very unusual and not very well known, but very effective. And so I started following him. And over the years, I kind of scaled back some of the promotional marketing that I had done and started doing more of this digital marketing because I think it's more of the future. I just find it more interesting. And so that's kind of how I got involved with it. And I was just kind of on my own, basically, for most of the time with the promotions business. I split off from the company I started with and just had my own thing. That was probably, I don't know, 25 years ago, seems like.
Wow.
That's kind of how I got involved with it. I kind of fell into it a little bit, but then, your path takes you in different ways. And, that's kind of my path.
Yeah. And I would say a lot of people, so it's either a defining moment like it had for me when I got fired, or it's kind of an accidental entrepreneur is what I see it happen. Is it just
Yeah.
sort of like how you met your spouse? If you didn't show up to that particular event, that barbecue, you wouldn't have met him, and you almost didn't. And then here you are. So
exactly.
That's exciting. And I know one of the things that you've done well, whether it was in the marketing, products business or in the electronic marketing, one of the things you've done really, really well is networking, getting involved in the community. And I think you and I both kind of have a page out of the same book on that.
Yeah.
So talk to folks. It's like, and that's a very cost-effective way to get the word out there. So if you're struggling at home, trying to figure out how to get the word out, what are your recommendations on networking and community involvement?
From my point of view, I think we've been involved, you and I both, with the San Jose Chamber over the years. You for 100 years, me for 50 years, or something like that. At any rate, it's the program they've got set up right now. And I don't want this to be a commercial necessarily for the chamber, but they've got a subscription plan for $50 a month. The small business can get in there and take advantage of their services and networking, different specials that are available to them, et cetera. And it's a great way to, as you're getting started in a business, work on your spiel for one thing. You're going to have to go out there and talk to people. You're going to have to understand your business. You're going to have to be able to present it succinctly in a way that people can understand. And this is a great way to practice. It's a very supportive environment. So you can go out there and make a bunch of mistakes, and you'll still be okay. Every time you get out there and do it, you're going to be a little bit better. So I would say get involved with your local chamber or any other sort of a networking organization because it hones your skills. It sharpens your tools, and you're going to be much better at what you're trying to do, I think, if you do that. And you meet a lot of people. You just never know how things are going to play out. I was at a event at a winery. They had a networking event, and I met people that were involved with staffing and recruiting, and I think we have some great synergy there. And it's just kind of one of those happenstance things that you just kind of stumble into, but it wouldn't have happened if you didn't put yourself out there. So that's a very inexpensive way, I think, to go out there and meet people and start growing your business.
I agree. And, I've been big in networking my entire career.
Huge.
And I think it's just the best ROI. I mean, it really, really is. So, and it's consistency and showing up and you got to keep showing up consistently. And speaking of consistency, that'll lead me into some of your consistent efforts in your digital marketing. And there's a couple of buckets, right, that small business owners need to know about. We've got our SEO, we've got our email marketing, we've got our, websites and a bunch of different things. And it can be one, like you said, it can be daunting. It can be competitive. It can be expensive. It can be overwhelming. It can be scary. It can be, so we talked about some of the versus pay to play versus organic. And so I'd love to have some thoughts on, what is the difference between pay to play and organic, and maybe some tips that folks can do to help organically get themselves more visibility.
Generally, kind of a 3,000 foot view, pay to play is you're going to pay Google, generally they're the 800-pound gorilla, to have your company listed towards the top of the search engine results pages, SERPs they call them. And a lot of different companies try to do that. And so it's going to be very competitive, very expensive to do that. Another way to get high rankings on those SERPs is to have an organic ranking, whereas Google is always looking to give their customers, people who do searching on Google, give them the best experience. And what that means is if they put in a search term for medical technologies or maybe auto parts stores, for instance, then they're going to have good results come up and be a good quality experience for the searcher. So in order for Google to understand what's on your site and give you a high quality rating, is what it's called, they they have crawlers that go out and look at your web page for different keywords or what have you. And if there's a number of different keywords that are mentioned in your web pages, say it's in the auto parts store example, if someone's searching on alternators, if you have a page that talks just about alternators, that's going to get a pretty high organic ranking because you're specifically talking about what that particular keyword, and you're given a lot of space on your website to do that. So that's a good way to organically rank high. It's relatively inexpensive. Just along this auto parts store example again, there could be a number of different search terms that people search for: brake pads, hoses, clamps, batteries. If you could write a maybe 500, 750 words, a web page, not your website, but just a web page about batteries, and then another one about clamps, another one about hoses, etc. Google is going to see that and say that people are taking a lot of time. They're an expert in this field. They deal in this particular subject matter quite a bit, and so we're going to rank them highly. Now, as far as the consistency goes, you want to do that on a consistent basis. Google always wants to see new, fresh content. So maybe 1 week or 1 month, you do your web page on hoses. The next month, you do it on batteries. The next month, you do it on, transmissions or whatever. But that's a good way to do it. And it's relatively inexpensive. You can do that on your own. You can do it on your own web page in many cases. And Google sees that and is going to give you good organic results. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes weeks, months, of consistent effort to do it. But that's a good way to make it happen.
So I have a couple of questions on that. So, it is hard to compete when you're paying to play because, the deep pockets of some of these large companies, it's like you're out of it. So yeah. I love the fact we were talking about how sometimes, the internet can be the ultimate equalizer and give attention to those little guys. And so when you talk about, first of all, when you're talking about, keeping your content current, number one is how often do you need to update it? Do you have to do it, like you said, weekly, monthly, daily? What is that? Number one. And number two is it have to be a blog, or is it simply changing some verbiage on your website? What does that look like?
I'm not an expert on the frequency. I would say daily is too often. Weekly might be very difficult to do, but monthly it would be, I think, probably the minimum, maybe every 3 weeks, something like that. As far as whether it's best to have a web page for it or a blog, not an expert there either, but the people that we hire, one of our subcontractors, if you will, what they do is they do web pages on a specific topic, a specific keyword. And so that's a hint or a clue to me that that's probably the best way to do it, as opposed to doing a blog. Blogs are good as well because it sets you up as being an expert. But the people that we hire, they approach it by doing actual web pages.
And you were saying something like 750 words in a blog. Where did that come into play?
Once again, I refer to our experts in those fields. That's how they've set it up through, months and months of, trial and error. And those are the suggestions that they've come to us with.
Yeah. And it's like anything. I mean, your business, et cetera. I mean, it takes time, like we talked about networking and showing up, whether it's digital or otherwise. You also mentioned, so that's fresh content, blogging, right? Maybe web pages. You also mentioned another way that can really help you get seen is reviews and testimonials. Can you talk a little bit about that and maybe how to elicit those and what are some best practices regarding that?
Referrals and testimonials are very, very important, and they are, in many cases, low cost or free. Just encourage people to, rate your services. Google likes to see that as well, as far as they see a lot of good testimonials, then they figure that this company is doing a good job, that they want to show their people, their customers, people searching, good companies. These testimonials suggest you are a good company. That's going to help your rankings as well. You can do things with referrals to even set up a kind of a referral program. If you got maybe say you're a hairdresser or something along those lines, if you can bring in, have your customers bring in a new customer, maybe you can give the referrer a free color, or whatever the different type of things you can do blow dry or what have you. So these are different things that you can do, and you can be creative, but it's a good way to get new business for one thing. I mean, it's more effective actually than email, TV, radio, direct mail. Referral marketing has some of the best results. More people get new customers through referrals than any of those other mediums by far. So if you can put a referral program together, that's going to help you out tremendously.
So I like it. So asking your customers, happy customers, to do reviews. Are you meaning on Yelp, or do you mean just writing them to you and then you put them into your website? Is that?
Yeah, both of those are terrific. It's nice to have them on your website because you can control them in many ways. And we have companies that some of our partners will actually put a referral button, if you will, on the web page itself, so it makes it very easy for people to refer. And so it's you press the button, it takes you right to the Google Refer page or to the Yelp page or what have you. So you're trying to make it as easy for the people to praise you and get the word out as possible.
So that's a different thing. That's the reviews, right? Like the reviews. The referral was something different, right? I just want to make sure.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for the reviews, put a button there, maybe, use your Yelp, have it connected, all that good stuff. Then you talked about the third thing. So we talked about, changing up your website, keeping it current, testimonials and reviews. Third thing was this is really great. Your referral reward program. And that's a totally different animal. So you could do trade to bring in those leads. And do you recommend they have a button on their website that says referral program, as well as, review?
Yeah, absolutely. You want to make it as easy as possible for people to, review or refer people, new potential customers to you. The thing that's nice about referral programs as well, it may take a little bit of time or money to set it up, but then it pays for itself, because you only pay out, or you only give the reward or what have you to people that have actually brought you new paying customers. It's not like you're going to pay for someone to just view your webpage or something like that. You have to set it up so that it's you're getting some sort of a sale or whatnot, and then you can send out your reward. So it's self-fulfilling or self-funding in that way.
Yeah, and you had some cute ideas, which would maybe like be a gift basket, or if you had a studio space, they could come in and get an hour free studio space, or if they had, it was a theater, you could get a couple free tickets. So it doesn't have to cost you a lot of money, right?
Yeah, you can do things like give them. One of the things that we offer is the $25 gift card for, I forget the name of the Big Valley Meats, I think it is, something like that. But it was on Shark Tank. And so, you can give them a $50 gift card or a $25 gift card. Or, there's gift cards you can do your own thing. It could be, a Visa gift card. You structure it any way you want. But there's a number of different things that you can do that are relatively inexpensive, but just have to be creative.
I like it. It's kind of a win-win-win, especially if you're supporting other small businesses and giving
absolutely.
rewards for that. That's great.
Yeah, that's a great idea. As a matter of fact, you can do kind of, I forget what they call it, but it's like some sort of a cooperative almost. We do that to some extent in our networking groups. We want to send information about our other members to people that are looking for a lawyer. I know a couple of different lawyers in these groups, so it's not something that we do for money or whatever, but it's still a referral.
Yeah, I love it. So So we also talked about, so that's organic rankings, reviews and testimonials, referral reward programs. You also mentioned another great bang for your buck is email marketing. Maybe you could speak to that as well, Bill.
Yeah, email marketing has kind of got a bad rap, I guess. People get inundated with email marketing, but the reason you get inundated with email marketing is because it works. people wouldn't be doing it if it didn't work.
Yeah.
So it's one of the highest ROIs for marketing that you can do. In fact, it is the highest as far as I know. They say it's 40 to 1 ROI. So it's going to be relatively inexpensive to do. You're going to have a lot of failure. You maybe have 0.5% results, 1%, 2%, which sounds horrible, but you can send out so many emails for such a little amount of money that it still is worthwhile. It's the best ROI for marketing that you can do.
And are you talking about using like a MailChimp kind of thing for that?
Yeah, it's you have to kind of look around because there's certain email companies. I certainly don't know all of them, but some companies have different rules about what they'll allow on their site as far as where did you get your list, and there's some of the more popular ones maybe a little bit more restrictive. But if you keep digging, there's other companies that you can do maybe that have a list of opt-in people that have already agreed to receive emails. You can buy those lists and you start marketing to those people as well.
Do you have a favorite or anything that you're comfortable mentioning?
I don't really, because we have our own system. We have our own ISP that we use.
Got it.
And so I don't have any others to really speak of.
Well, that leads me to a great question, because this is a lot for a small business owner, but it is expensive, right? Let's call a spade to hire this stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
So at what point does it make sense to turn this over to somebody like you? Like, at what point does that make sense? So you were saying sometimes you want to grow fast. And so speak to that. When does it make sense to finally outsource this?
Well, it's so often it's driven by budget. It's expensive and it's not a sure thing. You're going to spend some money and maybe it'll be successful, maybe it won't. It's important, I think, to start small and do some A/B testing. Have a couple different messages, maybe different copy, different artwork, or what have you. Try one against the other, see which one performs better, and then take the one that performs better and maybe roll that out, in a larger way. So there's a budget concern, and just kind of to some extent also a capacity concern. If you were to be successful with your marketing, are you able to service all these potential new customers? That's something to consider as well. But I think budget's probably the first one. And if you have a good budget and you want to grow fast, marketing is a great way to do it. But you just there's pitfalls that are involved with it. It's not going to be a sure thing. So you kind of pays your money, you takes your chances. But if you do it, I think smartly, at least do the A/B testing and do it on a consistent basis. That's another thing. People, I think, give up too early. We talk to our clients about having at least 90 days in a program just to get started. We prefer 6 months just because it does take a long time for, even if we're working with search engine optimization or what have you. It takes a while for Google to figure it all out. There's billions of web pages and they are very busy gathering information, but it still takes a while. And so you want to do it on a consistent basis over a long period of time. Don't expect for some sort of a quick fix. The first month you pay your $1,500 or whatever it is and expect to start getting business. It's just unlikely.
And I think if it was that easy, then everyone would do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's true of being self-employed. Anything worth having is going to take some time, and you'll be tested. That's for sure when you're doing something against the grain or trying to do something great.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And it's like in the words of Yoda, there is no try, there's only do. So if you're going to do something like this, just commit. It's funny. I beefed up my social media presence. We were talking about that. And my husband's like, how long are you going to do this for? I'm like at least a year. Right.
Excellent.
Because
Excellent.
You can't just be a toe dipper. It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't,
appreciate
unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of, this A/B testing and all that good stuff, you and I are both big fans of Fiverr. Actually, that's who did my logo right up there.
Excellent.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
did the writing and stuff, and I told them the color schemes because I wanted to
Mhm.
kind of match my Legal Shield business, right? So I have the blue and the purple and all that stuff. So I gave
Right.
them the color palette and everything. Talk a little bit about how Fiverr, because that's one of your favorite things, can work
Yeah.
for you, and what are some ways that a small business owner could use them in marketing efforts?
I don't know all that they do, but I think they do pretty much everything. They have people all over the world. There are just on contract. I guess they just like solopreneurs as well. They're trying to, provide a service, and this is kind of a marketplace or a clearinghouse to make that happen. I had a 5-minute video done by Fiverr. I gave them the script, and they came in with all of the different clip art or I'm not even sure if it's called clip art, if they're movies, I guess it is. They put it together, and maybe, we went back and forth a few times, so probably 2 or 3 weeks or something. Maybe it was less than, I think, $200, which is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Professional, great voice. You get to choose the, different voices that were available. And they're just, that was just one service. But they have people that will do, as you mentioned, logos. I think they'll probably do websites. If you can do this, I think it's a great phrase. Rent your brains. Don't try and figure everything out yourself. Get these people that are experts in their doing. And the thing with Fiverr is too, it's worldwide. I think the person that put together my video is in Bhutan or Nepal or something like that. Just terrific. And great communication. And it was done as well. You can rate the people that are doing the work for you. So you have the testimonials there and everything else. So
Hey,
you know what you're getting into.
testimonials, right?
Yeah, you're just not like flying blind. That's kind of the way of the internet these days, because you know what you're getting into before you get into it. But yeah, Fiverr, Fiverr, I think it is. But check it out, Fiverr.com. Once again, not necessarily a commercial for Fiverr, but I'm a strong believer.
Me too. And I feel like, it's, so thank you for sharing that. I feel like it's never been not easier, but simpler if that's a word, for a small business owner to be able to, like we said, have that footprint, that impact like a big business, because there are so many resources, because the internet is the ultimate equalizer right now.
Mhm.
If you can crack the code on that, but at some point, hiring somebody like Bill Harrington is going to make a lot of sense. Are there any final comments before I go ahead and give them your information? Because if somebody wanted to have a conversation with you, any closing thoughts before I give them your info?
Well, I want to kind of piggyback on what you just said about how the internet is the great equalizer. If you get a professional website done through any organization, maybe Fiverr or whatever, you can look as professional and big and together as anybody out there, IBM, Microsoft, anybody, because everyone's got the same screen they're looking at. There's nothing special about, what Microsoft has on their page that you can't get on your pages as well. So that's a great point that I wanted to echo for you.
Yeah, I think it's a blessing that now more than ever, small businesses can compete with the big guys and get some market share like they've never been able to before. So it's
Yeah.
exciting times for people to be an entrepreneur. And then these resources like Fiverr and things like that give you that ability to scale is huge.
Without breaking the bank.
Yeah. And then once you're ready to scale, then you want to hire Bill, right? To be able to help you go to that next level. So I know, what's the best way for someone to reach out to you if they want to continue the conversation or look at some of your offerings?
I think probably email. It's Bill at deductivemandr.com.
I will go ahead and throw that on there for you.
There it is. Yeah.
There you go.
It's a great way. It's, convenient for everybody. I'll get back to you with information about, what you're looking for, or, we can have a conversation about what you're looking for, and we'll take it from there.
And if you have questions about, networking with the chamber or anything like that, please, let us know, because we can definitely get you in touch. And both of us have programs that are going to be discounted if you're a member of the San Jose Chamber. So if you want to get another great way to get access to legal or identity theft, or you want to get access to some more economical electronic marketing, then definitely reach out to us. But I want to thank you, Bill, for being on this show. It was a great episode. Appreciate that.
You're awesome.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us for another incredible episode of On the Fly with Kai, where I really try hard to bring to you trusted, professionals that are experts in what they do, that'll give you some tips, tricks, and hacks for you, your business. I really take, entrepreneurialism to the next level. So thanks again. Take care. Take charge. We'll see you guys over the top and see you next week. Bye-bye.